Have you ever thought about what would happen if your computer suddenly locked you out and demanded a ransom to regain access? This nightmare scenario is not a plot from a science fiction movie, but a real threat lurking in the digital world, known as ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malicious software, or malware, that cybercriminals use to block you from accessing your own data. It's like a virtual hostage situation. The perpetrators encrypt your files, making them inaccessible, and then demand a ransom, typically in a hard-to-trace digital currency like Bitcoin, for the decryption key. Why is this a growing concern? Well, in our increasingly digital world, we store everything from family photos to vital business documents on our computers and in the cloud. A single ransomware attack can put all of that at risk. Imagine losing access to all your precious data and having to pay a hefty sum to get it back. Scary, isn't it? If you think this is just a hypothetical scenario, think again. Let's dive into the world of real-life ransomware attacks, where the consequences were far from imaginary. Our first case takes us back to 2017, when a ransomware named WannaCry wreaked havoc across the globe. This cyber menace, with its aptly terrifying name, swept through 150 countries, affecting hundreds of thousands of computers in a matter of days. It paralyzed hospitals, rail networks, and factories, leaving a path of digital destruction in its wake. The attackers demanded ransom payments in Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency that's notoriously difficult to trace. The National Health Service in the United Kingdom was particularly hard hit, with operations cancelled, patient records inaccessible, and medical services severely disrupted. The total damage caused by WannaCry is estimated to be in the billions of dollars globally. This goes to show how a single piece of malicious software can bring the world to its knees. Moving on to our second case, we find ourselves in Atlanta, Georgia, in the year 2018. The city was struck by a ransomware attack that crippled its essential services. From water billing and court services to airport Wi-Fi and police data, the city's digital infrastructure was held hostage. The attackers demanded a ransom of $51,000, but the city refused to pay. Instead, Atlanta spent over $2.5 million in an attempt to recover its systems. Despite these efforts, much of the data was lost forever. This incident highlights the tough choices faced by ransomware victims to pay or not to pay. Knowing either decision comes with its own set of challenges and consequences. These cases show that ransomware is not just a personal problem, but a global threat that can bring cities to a standstill. The damaging effects of these attacks underscore the importance of cyber hygiene, proactive protection, and the need for robust cybersecurity measures. After all, in the interconnected digital world of today, an attack on one can quickly become an attack on all. So what should you do if you become a victim of ransomware? First and foremost, panic not. It's crucial to remain calm and composed. Next, isolate the infected system. Disconnect it from your network to prevent the ransomware from spreading to other devices. This includes both wired and wireless connections. Now, it's time to report the incident. Contact your local law enforcement agency and report the crime. They may not be able to retrieve your files, but they can investigate the crime and potentially bring the criminals to justice. You may also want to report the ransomware to your country's Internet Crime Complaint Center and to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. Every bit of information helps in the fight against cybercrime. You might feel tempted to pay the ransom, hoping to get your data back quickly, but remember, there's no guarantee that the criminals will restore your access after payment. While it might seem tempting to just pay the ransom and move on, remember that there is no guarantee that you will regain access to your data. Now that you know the threat of ransomware, how can you protect yourself? Let's dive into some do's and don'ts. Firstly, the do's. Always keep your software up to date. Outdated software can have vulnerabilities that hackers exploit. Regularly back up your data, either on an external hard drive or a cloud service. This will ensure you don't lose your information even if ransomware strikes. Now, on to the don'ts. Don't click on suspicious links or open unknown email attachments. These can often be disguised as legitimate, but they may contain harmful ransomware. Be wary of any unexpected or unsolicited emails, even if they appear to be from someone you know. Don't ignore security warnings. If your device flags a website or download as potentially harmful, heed the warning and avoid it. Lastly, don't fall for tech support scams. Legitimate tech companies will never call you out of the blue to fix a non-existent problem. Remember, prevention is better than cure, especially when it comes to ransomware. In today's digital age, ransomware is a real and present danger. We've journeyed through its sinister impacts and real-life cases, shedding light on what to do should you fall prey. The do's and don'ts we've explored are your armor in this digital battlefield. Remember, awareness is your first line of defense. Forewarned is forearmed. Stay proactive in safeguarding your digital assets. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and remember, knowledge is your best defense against ransomware.